Ontario's 5 largest education unions are heading into the school year without contracts. They expired at the start of the month, and negotiations with the province are ongoing. While the Minister of Education has promised an academic year uninterrupted by COVID, the same promise can't be made about possible strikes.
Stability also requires the Ford government to make real investments in public education.
Calling on Queen's Park to spend more on education, the president of the Ontario Secondary School Teachers Federation wants to avoid any job action, but says they're far from reaching a deal with the province.
The last thing anyone wants to go through right now is another round of school closures.
The Ford government has offered a 2% raise to education workers making less than $40,000 a year and a 1.25% raise to everyone else.
Amidst the backdrop of historic inflation and increased pressure at the job, a 1% or a 1.25% wage increase is not going to cut it. Unsurprisingly, many school boards are now facing staffing shortages. They are choosing to shortchange the students of Ontario.
The education minister disagrees, responding to opposition questions in the legislature today.
Will the government commit today to spend every single cent in education on keeping our schools safely open?
5,000 additional frontline staff to support our kids, to keep them on track.
Member for Davenport, come to order.
That is a plan that underscores the commitments to the publicly funded education.
He says his priority above all else is keeping kids in school, and his government won't tolerate disruptions.
We've got to stay focused on in-person learning, and there cannot be any threats down the road in 30 or 60 or 90 days to that imperative. We want kids in school, and we're going to stand up to ensure they remain in school.
He wouldn't answer directly when asked repeatedly if he would legislate workers back on the job should they choose to strike.
We are negotiating with the aim of getting voluntary deals so that we can keep kids in school. Nothing matters more for this government. And after 2 years of difficulty, we're asking everyone to get on board with keeping kids in school.
We meet again the 12th to the 14th of September. We're expecting at that time to have a better idea of what the government is proposing, but we're really hoping that they will view education as an investment.
OSSTF members haven't decided whether or not they'll move towards a strike yet, but another union has already taken the first step. CUPE, which represents 55,000 education workers in Ontario, will hold a strike vote at the end of September, meaning they could walk off the job as early as October if a deal isn't reached. They are asking the province for an 11.7% raise. For City News, I'm Tina Yazdani.